Most of us wake up every day with a roof over our heads, food in the fridge, and the freedom to go wherever we choose. We live in a society where our most basic physical needs are overwhelmingly secure. But step outside that bubble, and the reality changes drastically. There are people surviving right now in neighborhoods reduced to rubble, entire families displaced by sudden violence, and vulnerable populations enduring literal starvation. Yet in the midst of our unparalleled safety, we are chronically miserable. We complain about almost everything, walking around bitter, confused, and entirely unsure of what we actually want out of life. The issue stems from building our entire existence around our own strength and desires. When we rely solely on our own self-sufficiency, we end up profoundly hollow on the inside. All the material security in the world cannot fix that internal misery. It simply removes the other distractions, exposing what it actually looks like to live a life completely disconnected from God. We constantly chase what we call happiness, but it is entirely dependent on the physical world. It relies on wealth, upon absolute independence, and physical pleasure. Because those things are temporary, the feeling never lasts. It just breeds anxiety, jealousy, and a hunger for more. This diagram illustrates the contrast between fleeting happiness and true joy. True joy operates completely differently. It is an exclusively internal state. It doesn't come from your bank account or physical health. It is a lasting, eternal peace that can only be supplied by God. If an easy, comfortable life only provides a temporary thrill while leaving us hollow, then the very things we spend our lives running from, the pain, the failures, and the sudden illnesses, might be the exact medicine required to finally experience that true joy. Think about the great biblical patriarchs. You have Abraham, known as the father of faith. You have Isaac, remembered as a figure of deep holiness. And then you have Jacob. He sits at the bottom of that list. For much of his earthly life, he was a massive failure who relied entirely on his own wits instead of leaning on God. Because of that constant self-reliance, his life was marked by bitterness and deep personal frustration. We view failure as a disaster, but worldly success carries a specific danger. It convinces us that we are the absolute masters of our own fate. This illusion of self-power rapidly inflates the ego, blinding us with extreme pride. This internal inflation, this pride, is the specific mechanism that causes a total spiritual collapse. It's the same force that pulled the most brilliant angel from the heights of heaven and cast him down into the void to become Satan. Failure acts as a vital defense mechanism for the soul. It shatters the ego before pride takes root, protecting us from the arrogance that destroys. By our normal human standards, a life free of struggle is ideal. We automatically categorize perfect health and absolute comfort as good, and we view any illness, setback, or pain as inherently bad. This dynamic map reveals a completely inverted logic. God does not measure the value of an event by how comfortable it makes us. He measures it strictly by proximity, how close or how distant it pushes us toward Him. Under that standard, perfect physical health can actually be destructive. If your comfort gives you the illusion of total independence, leading you into arrogance and away from your Creator, then that health is actively harming you. Conversely, an unexpected illness can be immensely valuable. If it brings your life to a sudden halt, breaking through your ego and pulling you back from a path of eternal separation, it becomes the exact thing that saves you. God doesn't originate the disease or maliciously inflict the suffering, but He will allow it to enter your life. He will even permit outside forces to strike you if that pain is the final remaining tool to get your attention. These interventions arrive as a final, loving attempt to halt our progress toward permanent isolation. Think of our entire lifespan on this planet as a rigorous, temporary school. The 50, 80, or 90 years we spend here serve as an intensive period of study. Illness and heartbreak function as mandatory subjects in this curriculum. They are designed to strip away our ego and refine our ability to follow God. This school has a specific requirement. We must practice loving God while limited by the flesh. This season of life is our chance to acclimate our spirits to His presence before transition. Consider the reality of a kingdom defined by absolute, infinite love. To a soul cultivating self-interest and rejection for decades, that level of purity would be overwhelming. Entering such a space unprepared would feel like a suffocating life sentence rather than a reward. We endure the long nights, the struggles, and grueling exams for a singular purpose: graduation day. That is the moment we complete the curriculum of Earth and cross the stage to enter His kingdom. When you finally stand in that eternal space and witness the incredible reality prepared for you, the perspective shifts completely. Every narrow path you walked, every tear you shed, and every painful earthly lesson you endured will instantly prove to be worth the sacrifice.